when you come inside me for the 5th time, we're going to talk about some stuff, some very important stuff. I want to talk about my experiences with making the podcast. I'm going to talk a little bit about OnlyFans again. My wife may think I'm funny. She may think I'm not. I'm done drinking for a little bit. We'll have some story time. And then I'm going to tell you how stupid kids are. So please, come inside me for the 5th episode. It's your boy, Nick Rassiopi, on the Inside Me podcast. I wanted to thank everybody for coming back and supporting the podcast the way you guys are. All 5 of my listeners. I hope I'm really producing some good content for you guys. And guess what? It's going to get better. Okay? It's going to get better. All I'm doing is improving. Right? Taking this momentum. And I'm going to make a big ass snowball. And it's going to be a funny snowball. And we're going to give facials to everybody. No, but seriously. Thank you guys for coming back. If you haven't already, follow my Instagram handle, insideme_pod on Instagram, and then like and share the profile itself. And don't forget to just share the podcast as you do it. If you guys enjoy it, I want you guys to go on Spotify and subscribe. If you're listening through YouTube, also subscribe. And go ahead and hit that bell so you can receive notifications of my new episodes. Right? I can't promise all the episodes are going to be funny. I'm not that funny of a human being. But I can thank you guys for your support and your assistance in getting this podcast a little bit more famous than it is. So again, thank you guys, and let's kick off this podcast. I literally have been all over the place this last week. I'm either working or I'm doing stuff around the house. I'm chasing after the kids. But I've realized that the podcast startup is a lot harder than you think. Thought it was going to be a very simple transition. How hard is it to talk for 45 minutes to an hour? And it is. It's very hard. You definitely need to work out some structure. And that's what I don't have right now. So I'm working on it. And I'm sorry if you guys don't want to listen to the process. But I can promise you this. It's gonna get better. Just like everything. As we update, as I learn new things, I'm gonna get better at podcasting. Right? It's like, you remember that the other episode I talked about OnlyFans. People seem to forget that you're not as cool as you think you are. Right? Like, all the bitches that think they were doing these OnlyFans accounts, they were gonna blow up making cash money for $10 accounts or subscriptions, showing their tits and ass cheeks. Guess what? Nobody fucking cares, right? OnlyFans girls are having the same problem your local rapper is. Nobody fucking cares, right? So it's just funny that some people don't want to trust the process. I'm telling you guys right now, I don't care if you like it or not. I'm going to be putting content out every chance I can. I'm trying to keep it at a week, but hopefully, once I get a little bit more time on my hands, I'll be able to post 2 times a week, or 3, or I'll just drop random live videos. I think that's going to be fun too. So I'm working out all this stuff, and guess what? I'm having a fucking blast while I'm doing it. Me and my wife, we were talking about all the things that could happen with the podcast or not happen with the podcast, and her main question was, but you're not even funny. And it broke my heart a little bit, but I know she's playing around, right? She said it jokingly, but it's funny. As much as people want to try and be funny, they aren't. It's got to be through your mannerisms or just your personality, right? A lot of these guys, or I say these guys, I mean me, think that, writing is secondary. And it's not. And I'm learning that. You got to continuously write. You got to push content out. I'm an aspiring comedian, right? And I have to write in order to be a comedian. You got to say things. Maybe they're outrageous things. But you're feeling the crowd out. You're feeling yourself out. And what kind of comedy you want to represent. There's realists who want to, like Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan, who just state facts and then just show a different point of view. Then there's guys like Big J Okerson, who's literally talking about a lot of cringy stuff, right? And I mean cringy in the fact that it's very mature. It's talking about, licking ass, sucking balls, right? And it's just a different way of comedy than other people. They're all very successful comedians, but they all have a different style. And that's what I'm trying to develop right now. And I'm trying to do it through the podcast, and I'm having a blast. Because it's forcing me to write, create content, and just get comfortable with talking in front of people. I'm glad you guys like the podcast. Everybody that I've spoken to enjoys listening to the podcast. So it's usually the people that like having a conversation with me. They're always kind of bantering back and forth. And soon I will be having guests. I don't know if I'm going to do it this season on Spotify or if I'm going to wait a little bit, maybe create a more structured podcast and then have some guests. But either way, it's going to be like a subcategory of my podcast. Best way I can describe it is so Joe Rogan has the podcast, but then he also has like the MMA and the fight companions. That's what it's going to be. So instead of just inside me, it'll be inside us, right? And I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring it out as I go. And you know what's super embarrassing? Having kids during this process. I'm out here trying to make videos and funny stuff, and I'm getting judgment from a 5-year-old. I'm making a funny video saying some outlandish shit, and I may or may not have stupid stuff on or a different outfit, and my son's asking me what I'm doing. Now, is it really hard to explain to a 5-year-old the complexities of video making or trying to make a funny video because the way you look is silly? Yes, it is very, very hard. Because all he's doing is wondering why dad's got underwear on his head trying to be funny. He knows that's not where they go. They go on your butt. They go over your pee-pee and they go over your butt. They go over your pee-pee and over your butt, not on your head. So I'm confusing my kid at the same time while trying to produce funny content. But the overall process is fun. I'm learning to enjoy it. I'm trying to trust the process. While you guys will be my devoted fans from the beginning, hopefully as I grow in fan base, you guys will still maintain and maybe share similar views and like hearing me talk. I like talking, and if you like listening, thanks for listening. I'm about 2 weeks now sober. I wanted to take a break from drinking. It was definitely not consuming my weekends, but I could see that it was oh, okay, it's the weekend, so what are we doing? And I just don't want to do it anymore, right? I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to drink. I'm allowed to not drink. I don't need alcohol at every outing or event in order to have a good time. I don't. So I'm really just learning to enjoy the company of my children and my wife when she is home, and having fun. Having fun, doing silly stuff, right? Tickling the shit out of the kids, literally. Tickled my son so hard the other day, he shit. And my daughter, she almost fell off the couch. Very serious, but antics get crazy when you're a papa. When you're big poppy and you're not tickling the shit out of your kids, I don't think you're doing it right. When you force them to eat their dinner because they don't want to finish it and they know they're going to have a snack afterwards, and you make them eat it anyway, that's big poppy stuff. That's big poppy stuff, right? And that's my life right now. My life is just forcing food down kids' throats and making sure they don't shit their pants in public. I woke up to my son breathing in my mouth the other day. Instead of my alarm clock, I got a hot dust of air from my son's boil-ass mouth. My son didn't mean to, but he just wanted to come crawl under the bed with us. Now, I'm a parent. I love my kid. And I don't want him to be sad. But I only have about 6 or 7 inches after all the animals and my wife are piled up into the bed. And guess what? I don't want to lose any more space. I'm not giving up this ground. So when he blew his boil-ass breath into my face, I got a little upset because he not only woke me up exactly 60 minutes before I was supposed to wake up, which is already early, he then decided he was going to whine that he couldn't get into the bed. And guess what? Parenting 2020, baby. Parenting 2020. You don't really know yourself until you wake up under a stressful environment. And by stressful, I mean hell's gas farts into your face an hour before you're supposed to wake up to an already early schedule. And you then have to deal with a whining kid at 5 o'clock in the morning. You can judge me. I don't care. If you think 6 is late, go send your Snapchat pictures somewhere else. I don't care. Nobody cares that you're taking the picture at 4 o'clock in the morning on your Snapchat driving to work. Hey, you work at Walmart. You got to open. What do you want me to do? I didn't choose that occupation. I'm waking up at 6. Don't at me, bro. But my son woke me up an hour early. Didn't like it. I was very upset. Now, did I get a little stern with him? I did. I'll answer that question right now. I did get a little stern with him. Because you know what's annoying? Every single one of those things individually, and then to compile them in a coordinated attack of my sensory, what is it? The sensory system, right? And creepily being in a dark room where my son's standing next to me as I roll over was just weird. So I'm a little upset. I put him back into the bed. He finally falls asleep. Guess what? Guess what, people? I'll tell you what. He went back to sleep. He went back to sleep so deep, he had an accident. Oops. Accidents happen, I get it. But my son's a little bit bigger than the normal 5-year-old. And you know what he did? He unleashed a gallon of urine while he was in some of the deepest REM sleep he's ever had. You want to know why he was so tired? Because he woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning expecting to stay up. So, after I got my 20-minute nap of like actual sleep to before I woke up, I then had to clean his sheets. And he was covered in pee-pee. You know what it's like to deal with a kid who's crying because he's covered in pee-pee and he woke up? I got to return the favor, baby. I got to return the favor. He woke me up with his hot-ass breath. I woke him up with his wet-ass legs. His wet-ass legs did not feel good, and it was earlier than he was used to. I call that payback. Starring Nick Rassiopi as the agent who sleeps too much, waking up the evil villain, kid who wakes up dad. That's his name, kid who wakes up dad. And the plot of the movie is us just waking each other up in the same house. I'll get Michael Bay, and we'll set some explosions up. It'll be really exciting and confusing, and it'll probably get the same amount of views that this podcast is getting. But it's okay. I'm all right with that, because again, I'm trusting the process. The more content I put out, the better. What was I talking about? Talking about the drinking before this whole little thing. The drinking. I'm a responsible adult. Trying to be. That's all we can do. Like I said on the other podcast, I'm trying to be a good parent. And I just have like my bad parenting tendencies behind closed doors. I think I said that on the first podcast. Everybody's allowed to be a shitty parent. Be a shitty parent. Just don't get your kid killed or like malnourished. That's just mean. That's like fucked up. I've been watching a lot of the Unsolved Mysteries, or no, it was Inside Criminal Minds on Netflix. That shit will have you shaking in your boots if you're a parent. There was a whole episode on abductions. I couldn't imagine my kid, like 11 years old, they get snatched up, and you know what happens? You don't see them for the rest of their adult life. That's some pretty heavy shit. But what I did notice is that every single one of the abductors was a fucking dork. It's a fucking dork. And they all winded up killing themselves. Not all of them. One of them did. After he got sentenced to life. And like you're watching these videos and he's like saying he's apologizing to all. He got people pregnant. He got his abductees pregnant. What the fuck do you think was going to happen? You think you were going to catch a fucking case, homie? You did. You caught all the cases. And now you're about to get F'd in the A inside the J. The J's jail. F'd in the A inside the J. And that's real prison. He killed himself. Hung himself. Couldn't deal with it. Fucking cowardice. It's like, you had all that energy. Keep that energy going into jail, dude. You're about to get the fucking bum run. I was going to say, like, he's turning like, they're going to turn his insides into liquids, the bum run. Motherfuckers are wild, dude. Sometimes I think, like, decisions like that, while also are very deliberate, there's something wrong with that person's upbringing, right? Sorry, I'm taking a drink real quick. Something's wrong with that upbringing. And I'm thinking about it as I'm raising my kids. You're like one decision away from like their childhood from like turning them into a psychopath. And then it's like a domino effect. You literally like, you're like, your kid kills a frog. He thought it was funny the way the frog looked. And if you don't say, no, that's bad, or you shouldn't do that, they're going to turn out into Mr. Psychopants. Next thing you know, they're hog-tying people and treating them like human dogs. Worse than human dogs. I think we have... People get way more worked up about dogs getting abused than people. Could you imagine if a man was abused in his house? Everybody would fucking light him up. Fucking pussy, whatever the fuck. Oh, that dude's a bitch. How's he gonna get hit by a girl? Male dogs. Because they're defenseless. What if it's some small skinny dude? He's defenseless. Against like a big Bertha. Doesn't necessarily have to be a big Bertha. Maybe a Karen, that's like the new thing now. Maybe just a really big Karen. She's asking for his manager every night. He doesn't even have a manager. He doesn't even know what she's talking about. So she hits him. She keeps cracking him. But like every kid I think has like defining moments where their parents nip shit in the ass, and that dude probably just didn't have enough ass nipping. That guy didn't have enough ass nipping. All of them. I think there's like, on that one episode, they feature like 4 or 5 people who like abducted these people. One was over in like Austria. This dude was real fucking psycho. Like lynching his abductees. It's fucking insane. And like my initial question was like, how did nobody hear? Because like one of the guys literally had barbecues at his house while like women were chained up upstairs, and there were 2 in the basement. Much like the opposite of what this room is, he had it soundproofed. Sorry if you hear that. Sorry, I'm burping. Sorry if you hear the echo. I don't have any soundproofing, but he did. And then they were trying to say it wasn't premeditated. Motherfucker built a whole room. He stockpiled a room. Made it soundproof. Kids are like one bad decision away from becoming psychopaths. And that's not even to say some people are micro psychopaths. And if you don't know what I mean, a micropsychopath is a person who slows down to like a screeching halt in order to make a moving turn while they're in their vehicle. Another psychopath is somebody who fucking eats a hot dog not from one of the ends, just bites into it like a hamburger. Mini psychopath. Another psychopath, if you've ever been in North Carolina, anybody who puts a North Carolina lean on their truck or vehicle. Mini psychopath. You're doing things that are not normal, right? And they are perceived differently from the general populace, and you also, at some point, could look stupid doing it. Much like saying hi to somebody who's waving to somebody behind you. Oops, you're a psychopath. Also probably very narcissistic. I'm no doctor, but people who clap on a plane when it lands, mini psychopath. People who eat pickle and peanut butter sandwiches, mini psychopath. What are some other ones? Oh, people who are still smoking cigarettes in 2020. Mini psychopaths. Mini psychopaths exist. If you wear socks with your sandals, and I'm not talking slides, I'm talking straight up thong sandals. If you wear socks with those, you're a mini psychopath. And while kids are this one decision away, it's very lucid, because you can handle one situation correctly and then you fuck up another one. Bedwetting was like a big one. I used to wet the bed. I didn't turn out to be a psychopath. I did in some ways. I'm a psychopath about this money because I gets this bread. I'm just kidding, I'm broke as fuck. So maybe I'm not a psychopath. I'm big broke. But you'll watch that show, and I was checking my kids to see if there was somebody fucking trying to kidnap my kids while I was in the house. The show literally it made me believe I was a psychopath. I'm watching the show, and I was like, dude, I've done that before. Not the whole fucking kidnapping thing, obviously. Please don't call the police on me. Or maybe do, maybe don't. I don't know. Sometimes the kids say that they don't want to be with me, and I guess if I have to take them to the jiu-jitsu place or the gym, or I have to take them to the babysitter, I'm technically taking them against their will. But that's why they're young. They don't know what the fuck they're saying. But watching shows like that, it's like going on WebMD and searching like the most minute symptoms, and then you find out you have like colon cancer and you're a woman. Or you have breast cancer or ovarian cancer and you're a dude. How does that even, how did you even derive that? I don't have a vagina. Even better, one time I put in that I was getting headaches and I was very woozy. I was nauseous. I was really just having back pain. It told me I was pregnant. It said I was pregnant. And I went, oh, that's interesting. I could have sworn the last time I had sex, I had a condom on. They had some splaining to do. Had to have a serious talk with Priscilla, my wife. Had to let her know that she had left it in, apparently. She just emptied the clip on me. No, but it was very serious. Getting back to it. It's very serious. It made me scared, dude. Being a parent, now that all this information's available and you get all these documentaries of captors and all these just random shootings. It's scary. Because you're in charge of this human until they're older. You want them to at least make their decisions when they're adults, but you got to get them there. My kids are about to start school. And I was talking to somebody and I was like, literally, school's cool and all. It's no achievement. As parents, essentially all we did was keep them alive long enough for them to start learning more stuff from another person. No big deal. It's no big deal. And when you get to your teens, you really don't know what the fuck you're doing. You think you know what you're doing, but you don't. I was stupid as a teen. As a teen, I was ripping Monsters and honey buns, and that was my primary diet. From 12 to 15, actually, even into high school, yeah. I don't think it wasn't until junior year I stopped eating like that. Couldn't get enough. I was going from skate park to skate park, riding my bike with my skateboard on my back, just like I told you guys, riding through the hood. But then we'd go to the nicer white areas. Didn't feel as weird. Did get a lot of suntan though. And by suntan, I mean 4th degree burns all over my back and my forehead. If you've ever seen Overlord, the zombie movie about the Nazi soldiers in the one German outpost, and the American airborne drop in, and there's this big biochemical facility that's making all these weird pathogens. I essentially looked like that. Just go watch the trailer for that. That's what I looked like. Some rough times. It's hard being white. Especially in the sun. Think of how fucked up it is that we can't even stay in the sun too long. The sun hates us. Everybody hates us. It's okay. I'm here to relieve that with comedy. But as a kid, as a kid, skating, going around, I was crazy. I was doing dumb shit. Jumped off a bridge once. And I always go back to that saying, hey, your parents would always say, if your friend asked you to jump off a bridge, would you? I was the friend. I was like, let's go, bro. And there I was, up in New Jersey. The fucking Belmar Bridge, jumped off it. And I specifically said, my name's Nick Rassiopi, and this is fucking stupid. And I jumped. I had no idea if it was shallow or not. I could have broken both legs. You know how stupid I would have looked? 2 fucking life preservers of legs, just Gumby noodle shits, just floating up to the surface as I'm screaming in agony because I had jumped into shallow water. I had no fucking idea. The thought didn't cross my head until I was halfway down to the water. I jumped and I was like, oh shit, I could break my and then went into the water. And I was okay. But it was just one of those dumb decisions that I made. Speaking of dumb decisions, I tried impressing a girl. Story time. Story time. I was trying to impress a crush that I had in middle school, and my stupid ass can't jump. I went to a very, very, very prestigious basketball school. Our middle school and high school basketball programs were really fucking awesome. Same with the football and track. So there was a lot of time put into people and their the development of their skills in those sports. So gym time, we're playing. I try and go for a dunk, and guess what happens? My big gangly fucking fingers catch the net. I did this really cool look over at her, watch this. I've never even attempted to jump and touch the hoop before, not on a real basketball court. I gave her a wink. I was like, yo, check this. And I'm thinking of every neighborhood crank basketball hoop. You know what I'm talking about? The ones that you can adjust and it's got the sandbag on the back. I'm thinking of all those. I was like, bitch, I've been able to fucking touch rim on that since I was since I was off that fucking the Fisher Price. I'm still jamming on those. And then I went to go jump. And I literally, my big stupid fucking meaty clams caught on the net, and I went horizontal and fell. No, I didn't fall. I plummeted to a gymnasium floor that literally sounded, the only thing next, like close to the frequencies made by that noise, that of my body hitting the floor of a gym in middle school, was the Big Bang. That's the only thing that comes close to it. I fired off another bang. This one was called the medium bang. In a middle school gymnasium. And one of my worst fears ever, I made that noise where the wind gets knocked out of you. You guys know what I'm talking about. You ever fallen directly on your back? Not expecting it? You air yourself out? Doesn't sound like a turbo. It sounds a little bit more like an elk yelling for help. And I got buddies straight up disrespecting my set, asking me if I'm okay. And I'm doing that, no, I'm good. And they're all crying, laughing at me. And you know why it was a stupid decision? Because I thought I was going to impress a girl. You don't need to impress them. You don't need to chase the girl. You let them come to you. Because you're funny and charming. I'm just kidding. I was neither of those. Still ain't. I don't know how I'm married. I scored the jackpot. But kids make dumb decisions. And they're straight up disrespecting me, like saying it loud as fuck. Like loud. They're like, dude, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Oh my God. I could have sworn I heard somebody in the background go, he need an ambulance. I'm not dying. All right? I just got a little aired out. Disrespect me like that. And I was trying to play it off so cool. But you just can't hide that noise. Not when you're trying to breathe. Not when you're trying to breathe. I'm good. That's the noise I made. And my buddies were fucking crying. I was like, there's no need to feel so bad, dude. I'm good. I'm alright. I'll live. Obviously, they were laughing at me. My buddies still laugh at me. That's what you need. That's why I'm trying to... My son, the first thing he always says is, it's not funny when he falls. I swear to God, I saw this kid fall in slow motion before. I'm not talking the one where like they're trying to like catch their balance and like keep themselves up instead of just falling. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. You ever been on ice and you're like trying to not fall? Or those like videos on Fail Army where like people are trying to catch themselves. It's usually old people. And they're like running around half the yard trying to catch their weight. Just fall. Just fall. We're laughing at you way harder when you're trying to not fall. But my son was near the couch. Swear to God, he was looking at me as he was falling. It was the slowest fall I'd ever seen in my life. There was 1 minute he was standing up. The next second, he was he was horizontal and still floating to the earth. It was the most slow-mo I've ever seen. And I caught it in 1080p with my eyeballs. And if you've ever been around young kids, their abs aren't that developed. So he's trying to get up, and he's just got this weird like trolling face of like him trying to get up, and he eventually just rolls to the side and gets up like a turtle. What was so weird about it is that he was making eye contact with me the whole time. I was completely perpendicular to him. His head was completely sideways, looking at me, making direct eye contact, and he fell in slow motion. Taking another drink. Thirsty. They still won't nap. I'm trying to record this thing. I'm in fear that they're just going to open up this door at any time. But yeah, man, kids are dumb. You need to enjoy the time you have as a parent. You've never been in the trenches until you've had to like straight up parent a kid and you're in the fucking trenches. You can only be asked so many times, can I have a snack? Before you say yes. And sometimes you don't even give a fuck. Dude, you could be like they'll ask for, sawdust and fucking broken glass. And you'll be like, yeah, is that what you guys want? Is that going to shut you up? And they're just making all these wild decisions throughout the day. And they just, dude, it's a war of attrition with kids. That's all I figured it out as. It's a war of attrition. They just break you down. You have kids to be extremely happy and loving and caring. But you also have kids to go into sometimes a very deep and dark depression. And you sometimes get some jokes out of it because your kids are going to be funny as shit. Everybody's kids are. Kids are funny. They're goofy. They're still figuring out how to walk and speak. My son kept asking me about my tattoos. And I'm thinking about getting another one. Tattoos are really cool. But also, I thought his question was cool, right? Like, because I have superheroes on my back. I have, Superman, Batman, and then I got the Joker, Harley Quinn, Bizarro. My idea is that I'm going to have, Justice League on one side and Legion of Justice on the other, or the Legion of Doom on the other side. It's going to be really cool. So he's asking me about it. And he asked me why to go down, like, so far down on my back. And it brought up a good point in my head. Well, not a good point, but it just brought up a thought. Like, tattoos are really cool, and especially if they're by good artists, super awesome. Super awesome. But tattoos on buttholes exist. You know what I'm talking about? People get their butts tattooed, and they enjoy it. You're never going to see it. It's the biggest waste of money. That's like the people, like the Japanese traditionals, where people get full-on bodysuits. Dudette and Bros Company. The purpose is to inspire, fulfill, and strengthen the degenerate side of the fitness and military community with sick clothing, cool swag, thoughtful ideals, and bring a positive outlook on some very happy vibes. Do you guys like sick clothing? Do you guys want to get some sick-ass mugs and some dope-ass shirts? It's summertime, baby. Gotta get you a tank. Go to dudetteandbros.com for all the cool merch. If you use the code INSIDEME, that's capital INSIDE, capital MEE, 10, the number 10, 10, you'll get 10% off all purchases. So go ahead, give them a visit, give them a follow on Instagram, and let's get this ball rolling. Appreciate it, guys. Those guys get straight up bodysuits. And I think it's one of the most funny things to see butt cheeks tattooed, especially fully. To see tattooed butt cheeks. Some guys just get tattoos that are on their butt, but full on butt cheek coverage. You see like strippers with like full on butt cheek tats. I don't know why that just looks so silly to me. They get like sinner across their butt. You're not a sinner, you're just a stripper. You misspelt it. There was one time I thought I was going to have a really cool tattoo idea. So I followed through with it. I got it done. And I told my wife, I was like, hey, I got a surprise for you. And she thought it was going to be something sick. I was like, no, baby, I got a tattoo for you. It's for you. Me being the fucking awesome man I am, she probably expected me to have her name on me. Didn't do it. I was like, you're gonna fucking love this thing. This tattoo is sick. She's all excited. And I was going to school for my job. So she visited me. So she was only here for like 2 days. And the first thing I showed her was this tattoo. I was like, are you ready? I pull down my belt line a little bit. And right next to my pee-pee, I got a lawnmower. I got a stick figure lawn mowing my pubes. I've never seen somebody so disappointed. Other than my father-in-law when we got married. I'm just kidding. I think he was proud. I couldn't tell. She thought it was going to be so much cooler. It wasn't. Spent $50 on a lawnmower tattoo. On my pubes. That's why I think tattoos are friggin' crazy too, because like you can literally put anything you want on your body. There's a chick that got Drake tattooed on her forehead. You guys remember that? Got the word Drake for the artist tattooed on her forehead. That's some crazy ass shit right there. That's some crazy ass shit. No, but I really want to start getting back into shape so I can get some cooler tattoos so they look cooler on me. The last 3 years I've been really into CrossFit, and honestly, it's just been taking a toll on me, so I finally took a break. I took a month off. I haven't really lifted. I've just been doing the MMA and jiu-jitsu stuff. And now that I'm finally getting back into it, working out fucking sucks. And all those influencers that are like, you can have this really fun life by working out and living fit and fucking doing all these things. Because, paddleboarding, you need to have a really strong core and you need to be able to, squat your own body weight. Eat my shorts. Eat my fucking shorts. Dude, working out at the level that the CrossFit athletes and any fucking power lifter, literally eat my shorts. That takes so much dedication. For the people that are just trying to stay healthy and stay fit and maybe just elongate their lives, cool, do it maybe three or four times a week. But dude, I was doing 2-a-days, 6 days a week on top of jiu-jitsu and MMA. Fuck that, dude. I work out maybe 5 times a week now. Maybe. And that's including cardio and some weight training. I just want to sustain. Your boy's a little thick right now, and that's because working out fucking sucks. You're constantly getting injuries. You're always fucking sore. And why? So I can feel bad because some dude's holding a fucking cheeseburger because he's on a fucking keto diet? That dude can suck a dick. Fuck him and his fucking keto diet. Fuck that keto diet. The fucking keto Guido. Eat my shorts. Eat my fucking shorts. It's so fucking inconvenient. Dude, I used to love it. I still do kind of love the CrossFit workouts. I'll do a rough one every once in a while. But dude, fuck that. Having to show up and literally just slay yourself. I was fucking hazing myself. I made my own fraternity. I had put myself through the fraternity. And then I also recruited myself as a new join. As a new person to the fucking fraternity. And then I hazed myself. And I'm sitting here blowing gaskets, trying to fucking breathe. If you guys haven't seen my fucking first episode, look at the picture of my face. My nose is sideways. I already can't breathe. I got the nose that always shows but never fucking flows. My fucking nose doesn't work. It's just an ornament on my face. A really, really big, loud ornament. And it sucks to just breathe through your mouth for 40 minutes of a fucking CrossFit workout. My lungs already suck. My nose already sucks. Not in a good way. It sucks because it doesn't work. It doesn't suck air. It sucks ass. Working out is fucking silly. And for all those fucking influencers who feel like they're really fucking making a difference out there, sure, I'm sure you're motivating some people, but guess what? As soon as people get into a fucking rhythm of it and they realize how much it fucking sucks, they usually take it for what it is. So all those dudes making up fucking And that's another thing, dude. I used to make fucking workout plans for people. You know what the fucking coolest thing is? When you make a fucking workout plan for somebody and they don't use it. They're like, yeah, I think I'm going to start it next week. Bitch. So you just have me make that whole fucking thing and you're not going to fucking use it? Now I understand why chefs get so upset when these fucking people who don't even fucking cook turn their food away. It's flavorless. Bitch, you ain't got the palate for this flavor. Fucking retarded. So now I'm just doing fun stuff. I want to do workouts that I like. Running a little bit, swimming a little bit, doing some CrossFit, still maintaining it. I'm getting my fucking double unders in every single time. Even though every single time I try and get the double unders while I'm fatigued, my fucking legs just don't work. And if you've ever done a double under before, it's where the rope, the jump rope, passes under your feet twice before you land. That's why it's called a double under. A single would just be jumping rope, and then you have the double under. But when you get real tired, your shoulders start to give out. And when your shoulders give out, your legs are already pretty much fatigued. On top of being tired from whatever other part of the fucking workout there is. So then you just look goofy as fuck, dropping your fucking jump rope, punishing your fucking shins because the wire on the fucking speed rope is metal. So you're just punishing your fucking legs and arms. I don't know how it gets on my arms when it's like clipping my feet and then the rope punishes my arm. So I'm just taking it as it is. I don't need to work out every day. But if you guys are working out, keep up with it. Working out's cool. It extends your life. Prevents injuries. And even better, makes you feel good about yourself. That's all that matters. You guys should be feeling good about yourselves. That's why I quit drinking. For a little bit. I'm not saying it's forever, but I just needed a break. I'll see how long I go. And if I want to have a beer, I'll have a beer. But until then, I don't think that's going to happen. Just be a good human. That's all it is. Be a good human. Help people out. If you guys haven't already, I shared on my Facebook. My buddy, I think he's going by Hungry Jack. He just put out a podcast. If you guys are looking for another podcast to listen to, he's a big movie buff and seems like he's trying to put in some work on a podcast. So if you guys could go ahead and listen to his podcasts on YouTube. I think it's Hungry Jack on YouTube. It's good. He's got 2 episodes out right now. Maybe we'll do a guest thing one day. So, again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. This is it for episode 5. I appreciate your guys' involvement in this process. And like I said in the beginning, it's all about the process. I'm going to continue to put content out, and I hope you guys love it. If you guys are listening to this, that means you do. So, appreciate you guys. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, insideme_pod, and I'm now on Google Podcasts as well. So, whichever means, it's all in the link tree that I have on the Instagram. Any new platforms I get, I'm going to post on the Instagram, and then they will be available with all my episodes. So, again, appreciate you guys, and stay funny. Stay funny. On YouTube, if you guys are listening to this through YouTube, please comment what you guys would like to hear me talk about. I'm not running out of ideas. You're running out of ideas. No, but for real. I just want to get your guys' involvement in this, Let's make this a thing. So, again, thanks. I'll see you guys next week. Okay, bye.